What's up, everybody? Chase Haynes here, and today we're going to be talking about Python tuples. With that being said, let's get into it. Okay, great. So to start this, we're going to go into your repositories. I've cloned this already. I'm going to set this up. Open it with Visual Studio Code. And then here we are. So I've actually already created the file and named it tuples.py. So to do that, here, I'm just going to delete this and do it fresh. So we're going to click on this file tab up here. We're going to do tuples.py. Okay, great. So now we have the file set up. We're in Visual Studio Code. So now let's talk about what a tuple is. So we're going to comment here. That's shift pound. Then we're going to say the tuple is used to store multiple items in a single variable. One thing also to note for this, the tuple, it is ordered, right? So that means we have our indexes. So index, right? Which ranges from 0 all the way till, we'll say 10, right? Or whatever your index is. The next one to note is that it is unchangeable. What I mean by that, we cannot add or remove from the tuple once it has been created. And lastly, it allows duplicates. It's super cool. Allows duplicates, so we can have same value for different indexes. One thing to know also is, like, why would you use a tuple? Tuples are more static, which then makes it faster when you're indexing through it. Is very important compared to, say, using a list. Okay, great. Now we've written it out. We know what it is and we know why we would use it over certain other things, such as, say, lists. But let's talk about how to actually write it out. So very similar to lists, what we're going to do is we're going to create a variable. So we're going to call it this tuple, and we're going to equal, and it's going to use round brackets, quotation, and then we're going to put in a list of things. So these can be strings, these can be integers, these can also be booleans. But let's just do strings for now. And let's say, let's do animals. I think I did this for the last one, but I think it's one of my favorites. So let's say dolphins, cats, dogs, spider. There we have it, right? We have this tuple. We go down here, we're going to print it out. And then from here, we can put print tuple. We're going to run it. And there we go, right? Gave it all. And now we have dolphins, cats, dogs, and spider. Just like in the previous video, right? We can actually pull certain indexes instead of getting the full variable. So for example, if we wanted to print this tuple, but we wanted to just say cats, right? Then we would do the index of 1. Because like I said in the past, type it out so it's easier to see, right? This is the index of 0. This is the index of 1. Index 2. Index 3, right? So we're going to clear this and we're going to run this, right? This tuple, index 1, cats. And there we go. We pull it at 4 or 3. There we go, spider, and it switches. Another thing we can do for this, very similar to my previous video, we can also do length, right? So length abbreviated len, and we are going to bracket, and let's clear it so it's a little easier to read. And let's run that. And there we go, 6, right? For the index of 3, we have 6 characters. Okay, great. So now if we want to switch it up, so we had the index of 3. Now let's switch it up to 0, for example. We're going to run this. And there we go. We went from 6 characters and now we have 8 characters because Dolphins has 8 characters. So on and so forth. We switch it to dogs, the index of 2. Now it's down to 4 characters. That is the length of that string. Okay, great. And now we're going to create some more. So let's say int tuple, and this is going to this equal, and we can do integers now. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm going to break this down. It might be a little confusing, but this will actually help a lot because I know I was very confused with this part. So 1, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are our integers, right? But when we view them on the index, they are going to actually be 0, 1, 2, and 3. So just keep that in mind when you're trying to find the number. You have to make sure you're calling the index that it relates to. So we can actually, let's leave this. Make a new one. And let's say print and tuple. All right, we're going to clear this. We're going to run it. And there we go. We have the return of 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like we did with this tuple, we can change this to index of 0. And what do we think we're going to get? What do you think? There we go. If you got the right answer, sick. If not, that's okay. It takes time to understand. I struggled so much with this. My major also isn't computer science, right? So I'm already at a disadvantage. But this is something I really struggled with. And like I said, right, we switch it up and go to 4. And lastly, let's do bool tuple, right? Booleans. This is equal to, not equal to, this equals, let's say true, false, false, true. There we go. I comment this out. Like I said, for these comments, you can do command /. You can highlight all of them. You can just highlight one, whatever you want to do. Just a good shortcut. And then lastly, right, we can do a print, and we're going to do bool tuple, and from there, right, just like we did, true, false, false, true, straight through the index. Just bring that right over here, space it out, right? There we go. These are the indexes of our true, false, false, true. We're going to put the index, and there we go. Let's call the index of 2, and that is going to give you, is that the one you got? It'll give you a false. And like I said, if you got it wrong again, don't worry. I promise you. It can be frustrating, but you're going to get it. Like, you're going to get it. I promise you. And there we go. These are the basics for tuples, right? So let me change this actually. We're going to change this to make it a little easier to read. We're going to call this a string tuple, right? An integer tuple and a bool tuple. And make sure that you change your print, right, to str for string. Then when it matches up, when you print, it is calling the right variable. I know tuples can be a very confusing concept, right? Like, why use a tuple over a list or vice versa, right? It's okay. It takes time to understand when you use them in certain situations. But now that we've gone over tuples, I hope you have a better understanding of what they are and how you can use them. With that being said, if you like what you saw, hit that thumbs up and also hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much and have a great day.